Hi guys, so I'm going to do another get ready with me in chat. You guys seem to like that video last time, so I'm going to do another one because I enjoy it. It's just fun to talk to you guys and hear your guys' input on these topics. So I have not used the Chatty Blendiful in quite a while. So I'm going to try and use it today. I don't know, it's just kind of one of those things where it's just easier to quickly grab this and not have to think about it and just put it on. Whereas this works fine, it just takes longer for me to do because I'm not used to it. And I just need to keep trying it so I can get used to it. And it can be a thing in my rotation. This is the Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector. This works so good for filling your pores and mattifying. Like, it's insane. You see the difference here versus over here? So nice. But it is expensive. I found a dupe a couple years ago and I did a video on that. I'll link it up here in the card. I think they discontinued that. I still have mine, but like, you guys wouldn't be able to get it, so that sucks. I'm gonna try and see if I can find something similar. I think for like the full size, it's like almost $40. I mean, it would probably last you a pretty long time because you don't put it all over your face. I just put it on the parts where I get super oily. So what I want to talk to you guys first is the coronavirus. I'm sure you guys are all sick of hearing about it, just like me. It's overkill at this point. Like, it's all the posts that you see on Facebook. It's just, it's very overwhelming and I'm not here for it. Like I said, I have pretty significant anxiety issues, and you know, reading the news and Facebook and, you know, hyping myself up over, you know, the possibility of getting it or Keely getting it is just going to add on to my anxiety, and I just don't have time for that right now. That doesn't mean that I'm not aware of what's going on and updated, you know, information on it, but I'm not obsessing over it and I'm not getting anxious and panicking over it. With everybody stocking up on the toilet paper, and now they're starting to take baby wipes and, you know, that kind of thing. I just don't really see a need for that right now because this is going to be a thing that's going to last a few months and might not be gone until like the end of the summer. It might never be gone, but I do believe that we will get it under control in a few months, just based off studies that I've been reading and listening to, podcasts, Joe Rogan. I'll link that video where he talked to the disease specialist, and it's just really interesting how people can just, I feel like there's just a large portion of us, and Joe Rogan mentioned this in his video, a large portion of humans are just naturally conspiratory and, you know, believe in, you know, that the government is just against us and everything is plotted against humanity. And I don't agree with that. I've never agreed with that. I've been with someone that highly agreed with that so much, almost to a fault, and I just can't get on board with that. And I don't know why you would want to. Like, you're just one person, and the amount of people that actually share those beliefs is very small. And if something in the world were to happen that, the government took over, or, they're killing people or putting us in camps, or, whatever, I wouldn't really want to be alive in that situation. Like, that sounds harsh, but like, that's not the way that I want to live. If that's the way it's gonna be, you might as well just shoot me already, because I'm not here for that. I don't believe in the whole survivalist thing and, all that. It's too much. It's really doing the most. And I just don't think that it's beneficial for all of the media outlets to continue to spread false information and information that is just fear mongering and, all that. This virus is not going to wipe out humanity. We've had much worse diseases in early history and recent history that were similar, if not worse, and it went away. We got it under control. I have faith that this is not going to be an apocalyptic situation, and it's like the people that believe in that and preach that and feel like they're God's gift to everyone on earth because they have all of the information. Why? I don't see how that benefits you. It's like they want it to happen. They want it to be right. They want, all these followers to believe what they're saying, and it's just a form of control. It's an ugly form of wanting to control people, have people, listen to you and take your advice and, that kind of thing. And I just think it's gross. Honestly, like, that's the best way I can describe it, is just gross. This does not work well on my nose, so nose is a tricky part of the face for foundation for me. Sometimes when I use a sponge, it just works so much better. So yeah, I don't think it's anything for people to start panicking and stocking up for all this stuff. What's gonna happen to all these people that can't work, don't have childcare for their kids, don't have money? Like, that's what I'm afraid of, is just society as a whole. But again, alert, not anxious, not freaking out over it, because there's no point. I cannot control a worldwide disease. So please, I highly encourage you guys, stop listening to the news and all the things that they're telling you, and go directly to the right sources. CDC and WHO. That's the only place you should be getting your accurate information from. Anyway, moving on from coronavirus, I don't really want to keep talking about it on my channel. But a really good source also, besides WHO and CDC, if you are someone who's confused by like all these statistics and all this new information coming out and all these numbers and just all this stuff that doesn't really make sense to you, I would definitely check out Dr. Mike on YouTube. He does weekly or bi-weekly updates on coronavirus, and he kind of dumbs it down for those of us who don't quite, understand like the science and stuff behind it, and the politics behind it. So yeah, if you aren't already watching him and his updates, I highly recommend it. Hashtag alert not anxious, my favorite. But yeah, I just got interrupted by a call from special education teacher at elementary school for Keely. She is going to be retested soon in the social emotional range for autism. She is 2.5 right now, and I think they do it at like 33 mark or something. Like I said in my previous video, she's not diagnosed with autism. She's not diagnosed with anything. She just has some concerns, and in my opinion, they're minor. Some of them are typical with a toddler, but sometimes she's a little bit extreme with the things that she does, and I just want to give her the resources to learn how to better cope with her emotions and expressing her emotions. And she does that at the daycare. She does go to the center, like I said. As for like discipline, I don't believe in spanking. I don't think it helps. I've witnessed it not help. My daughter's brother, it didn't really seem to help. My brother didn't really seem to help. It just kind of makes things worse, and it makes the child resent you and fear you. And I don't feel like it's a good thing for your children to fear you. Yes, you shouldn't be friends with your child, but they also shouldn't be afraid of you. Like, I feel like that's not okay. And usually spanking is just a result of the parent taking their anger out on the child. Even if it's just happening a couple times a year, I don't agree with it, because sometimes those emotional scars from even physical abuse or, spanking. I know some people don't consider, normal spanking abuse. I don't really consider normal spanking an abuse, but when you bring in an object or an item other than your hand, I feel it's an issue, especially when you're leaving marks and the kid cannot sit comfortably. I feel like hitting your kid and causing them pain because of something that they did wrong is not okay, and you're teaching them that we fix things using violence and by hitting, and I don't agree with that. I wasn't really ever spanked as a child, and I pretty much never really misbehaved or didn't follow the rules. My brother was spanked all the time, and he was the one who was always misbehaving and, stuff like that. So I don't think it has anything to do with discipline. I think it has more to do with, those kids that do have ADHD or, something similar. They really cannot help it, but you have to understand that they are also a child and they are learning. And I don't feel that hitting helps the learning process of a young child or even a teenager. If you're still hitting your kid as a teenager, you might need to be like evaluated or something, because that's just absolutely strange. So yeah, I really just wanted to get that off my chest. I really do not believe or agree in spanking, and it is scientifically proven to not be effective. There is science behind it. And if you haven't seen that, I would go check it out. There's an OBGYN that I watch on YouTube called Mama Dr. Jones. She's a really great outlet for health and medical information. Just amazing. And I'll link that video that she had on spanking as well. But those studies just are absolutely correct. It's not effective. The kids that are getting spanked are still misbehaving, so what's the point in continuing to use a method of discipline that doesn't work? The way that I discipline Keely, it's very hard to discipline a toddler because they don't always understand what it is they're doing wrong or why you're upset with them, because they're still learning how to speak and how to communicate, and absolutely would never even think about spanking a toddler. That's just insane to me, why you would spank a toddler. Pretty much the only thing we can do right now is timeouts, and those are actually pretty effective, at least for the day. She may not remember it the next day, like, oh hey, I shouldn't do this because I'll get in trouble. Sometimes she does with certain things, sometimes she forgets. So you put her in timeout a couple times for screaming at me or constantly telling me no when I ask her or tell her to do something. Go in timeout a few times and she'll stop doing it for the day. There's no need to hate your kid. There's absolutely no need. I don't know if any of you have watched that documentary with Gabriel on Netflix. Just absolutely heartbreaking. That's not even really related to spanking, but I feel like maybe it stemmed from just spanking. You know, maybe it started as spanking and it just progressively got worse because the spanking wasn't working. I've been through situations where I have kind of seen that and not agreed with it, and I just don't like it. And that's part of the reason why I needed to leave, because I couldn't have my daughter be around that and have that happen to her. There were a lot of reasons why I left. One of the main reasons was just the emotional abuse towards me and the narcissism. I just couldn't handle it anymore. I don't deserve to be treated that way. And as a husband and wife, that's not how a relationship should be. I didn't want my daughter to grow up in that household and that family dynamic. She does call Max dad because that's the only person that has been around for her consistently and who hasn't disappeared for months on end. Her father, she doesn't know that that is his father because he doesn't come around to see her. Why that is, I don't know for sure. He lives about like 2 hours away, so I don't know what his reasoning is for not coming to see her. He doesn't really ask about her or, you know, ask how she's doing. It's a sad and unfortunate situation that I wish was different. You know, I wish I could have a break and have her go over to his house for the weekend. Like, that would be so awesome to have like a weekend with just silence every once in a while, you know. As a parent, all parents need a break from their kids. I hardly ever get a break from her and it is emotionally exhausting. So I wish she could, you know, visit him for a weekend or something, but it's not going to happen because there is a very strict visitation schedule that needs to be completed consecutively, and I just don't believe that that's ever gonna be followed through. Whether he thinks that, I'm not sure. But even if, you know, those visits are completed, she can't cross the state line without my written permission. That probably won't happen either. And I think it's just really unfortunate for when she does have to visit him that she doesn't know who he is, and it's almost just like this strange man that she doesn't know who's suddenly giving her hugs and kisses, and she doesn't really know who he is because she knows Max as her dad because he's been around since she was like 8 or 9 months old, and that's her, probably earliest memory of a father figure. So I don't believe that she knows that, her biological dad is her biological dad. And I'm not gonna hide that from her. I have no intentions of telling her that, Max is her real dad or, biological dad, because I just don't agree with lying to a child. But he's her dad. Like, he's been around. He's always been around. He's always going to be around for her. He loves her as his own, always has. It's just a perfect scenario. I couldn't ask for a better dad for her. Max is truly amazing. Having no previous, sorry, I'm gonna cry. Having no previous experience with kids, it's just amazing how he is with her. And even when I'm upset with her or frustrated with her because of, her behavior, he can bring me back down to earth and remind me she's just a toddler. We will get through this. She's getting help. It'll be okay. She's not like this all the time, but when she is, it feels like it's all the time. Yeah, Max is amazing, and that's all I can really say, honestly. And I mean, if you ever see them together or, see them with me, you would never think that he's not her real dad, because the love and the bond that they have for each other is so strong, and it's a love and bond that's never gonna be broken between them. They're just so attached to each other, and I'm so thankful that she does get the privilege of having a dad around, because the other one is not, unfortunately. Now I want to talk about Bachelor. Me and Max have been watching Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise for the whole time that we've been together. He was like, I don't know if I want to watch this, it seems dumb, but like, he's addicted to it just like me, and it's pretty funny. But that's like one of the only shows that we watched together. But he really liked Hannah Ann, and I really liked Maddie, so we were both kind of like rooting for different people. I really liked Kelsey for him, but I can't choose who he ends up with. But I really liked Kelsey for him. I don't think that this season was that dramatic. It was very similar to Colton's season and almost identical to the Ari season. I got this palette from, I don't know how to pronounce that, but this is the palette. And it's super pretty, but I have issues with the purple and the green for some reason. I don't know why, I've just been obsessed with pink lately. Just pink, 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 pink. I also wanted to bring up my social anxiety again and how I'm doing on the new medication. It is starting to help, but I actually realized today that I need to start taking it right when I wake up and not waiting until like 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock to take it, because no, I need to take it right when I get up, and I need to stop, laying in bed waiting for Keely to wake up, and I need to just get up, because the morning time is when I get pretty anxious just over stupid little things. My social anxiety has gotten a lot better since having Keely. I didn't really have much of a social life before Keely, but I feel like having a kid kind of helps you be more social, because you have to take care of them. You have to set up appointments for them and, you know, advocate for them, really. You are their voice. You are... And so I didn't really have, you know, very much of a social life before Keely. Never really hung out with friends, you know, that kind of thing. The biggest thing that has helped me with my social anxiety is actually the place that I work. I don't really have issues with being socially anxious anymore. Like, honestly, it's very rare that I do nowadays, but I love my job and it's helped me in a lot of ways, actually, and I'm so grateful for that, because being socially anxious is it's embarrassing and it sucks to not have a social life and hang out with friends. But I hang out with friends all the time. We go to the bar. That's usually the only time we hang out outside of work, but we go to the bar and mostly just talk usually. Sometimes we'll play pool or darts. One night we were gonna do karaoke, but we chickened out, and then we wanted to, but it was too late because it was getting too late into the night. So yeah, I wish I could do that more often. Like I said, I wish Keely could, you know, go to her father's place over the weekend sometimes, but it's just not in the cards for any time in the near future, at least. Anyway, yeah, I wish that could happen because I could hang out with my friends more, because I almost never get to hang out with them. Maybe once every couple months. But I mean, we do see each other at work like every day, and I love my coworkers so much. Like, they're literally my best friends. Ellen and Stephanie, if you're watching this, love the shit out of you. You guys are my best friends. Just know that. These videos that I do take me so long to edit because I have so many, you know, silent pauses and just, yeah, moments. Have you guys ever heard of donkey basketball? It was a thing that just happened last night at the high school here in town. And I didn't know about it until it was happening, pretty much. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is not okay. This is, you know, borderline animal abuse. And I just don't agree with it. If you don't know what it is, it's people riding donkeys in a gymnasium and playing basketball. Like, who even came up with this? It's honestly stupid. It would be more entertaining for me to just see the people play basketball themselves, or like dodgeball. I love watching dodgeball. It was supposedly for a fundraiser, but I don't agree with it, and I think it's gross, and I think it's an inappropriate way to show our children and young adults how we treat animals and what's okay and what's not okay. And I feel like that was a very inappropriate and irresponsible thing to do. There was an article on PETA a few days ago on it. I'll link that down below. So I spent all my tax return money already. I bought a new bed. The bed that I had was just way too firm for me, and it was making my back hurt. So I got a new one. It's like a gel foam hybrid with like Euro top, and it's pretty comfortable. I got new pillows that are like gel memory foam. Love those pillows. Got a new couch. Got 2 new rocker recliners. Oh, I got a new entertainment center for the bedroom. That's like solid, like oak. It's so nice. I got a new rug for the bedroom because the floors in here are kind of icky. Also got a new phone. I got the Galaxy 8. It's not new, but it's new to me, and it's way better than what I had. Phones are expensive. And I got this new laptop. Like, it's so tiny, so lightweight, and It turns into a tablet. It comes with like a pen and you can draw on it. There's like a galaxy pen on here. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hard to see with the ring right there. Love it. It's a Lenovo IdeaPad Flex. Max told me to get this one and I got it and I really love it. Max is my little tech nerd and he actually knows what he's talking about. Doesn't pretend to know what he's talking about. I do like my budgeting on there and it's so awesome because like you can erase mistakes and like change things and you can go back and edit them and it's just like ee. Whoa! These duochromes are legit lit, okay? Keely is at daycare right now and Max is on his way to the dermatologist for Tucker. I'm home alone today for most of the day and that literally never happens and it's nice to have a little break. Speaking of daycare, I just don't like when people say, oh, at least he pays child support. I disagree with that. He's forced to pay child support because if he doesn't cooperate with it, he goes to jail or gets his license taken away. And if he had a choice to pay it, like if there wasn't a court order, he would not. For whatever reason, he fails to like understand that in order for Keely to get medical assistance, I would have to cooperate with child support because some of those expenses come from child support. And I just don't get why people that are on the opposite end that I'm on that complain about having to pay child support. It's really not that much money that I get, and it always goes straight towards daycare. Like that's all it pays for is her daycare, which granted is a lot of money each month, and I'm thankful that I have the extra money from child support to be able to pay for that. Do I need it? Like, could I survive without it? Yeah, and I've done it. In fact, for the first year that we were not together, I didn't get any child support at all. So I can definitely survive without it. Max didn't work the first year that we were together because he stayed at home and watched Keely until we could get our own place together because we weren't eligible to live in the low-income apartments. So I asked him to wait until we moved out so that he could get a job. But he's been working at like a manufacturing place and he paints. He's a painter there and he's so good at painting. He's done painting several times. I've seen him like paint kitchens and stuff, but he paints like tractor, combine, agricultural things like that. That's what he paints. And he loves this job. It is very exhausting for him, but he really does love it. Where's my eyebrow pencil? Found it. But when we met, he actually was working. I just asked him to quit so he could help watch Keely until he got a job closer to where we live. And he did have a vehicle. It was kind of like one of those things where it was like a project and it was just not really worth it anymore, and so I got a new vehicle and I had him drive the car that I was given by my ex until he got a new car. And he got a new car in December because the car that I was given broke down, blew a head gasket. And it's an ugly car. It's an ugly little car. The only thing it's good for is good gas mileage. We both have Impalas. We love our Impalas. Like, we'll probably have Impalas for the rest of our lives. They're just good vehicles. You don't really have any problems with them. They got a big trunk and they just look nice. Mine is white and his is maroon. It's fun times with these little brows of mine. Oh yeah, I also quickly want to mention my haircut. This is my new hair. I also got it colored. The roots were touched up and I got some lowlights throughout. I'm obsessed. This has been very long overdue. And yeah, being a mom and long hair is just, no, it's too much for me. With a little kid, it's too much. Those of you that can handle it, you are so strong. Like, it just takes too long to style when it's long, because I usually wear my hair curled now. It takes forever to curl long hair. Like, who has time for that? I'm waiting on a new septum jewelry piece, what you would call it, because this one isn't like a good type of metal, and I thought it was when I bought it, but I went back and looked at it and I'm like, this is not really that good to be putting in my skin. It has like crystals on the front, but I had to turn it around because a couple weeks after I was wearing it, like 2 or 3 of the crystals fell out, and I'm like, what? I do plan on getting a lot more tattoos though. I got this one for Keely. It's the Marie from Aristocats and then her name. Sorry, it's a really bad angle. I got this covered up with a pineapple. You can still see it, the tattoo that I used to have underneath, but like, I don't see this part of my hand that often. The only time I really see it is when I'm looking at it like this, and that's not very often, and when I'm editing my videos, that's really the only time I see it, so it doesn't really bother me. But I love pineapples, and it was just time to cover up that tattoo. It's just, that was also long overdue. I waited way too long to do that. I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to cover it up with, because like, there's a weird spot for a tattoo, and it's also a very awkwardly shaped tattoo. The tattoo was my idea, so I can't blame anyone else for that because it was my idea, but yeah, it was a dumb idea. I also got some stoplights on my ankle for my friend and coworker that passed away back in October. She was having seizures up until that point, and then she had a seizure at work and it turned into cardiac arrest, and she was in like a coma, and they diagnosed her with a genetic heart disease, and I think it was maybe like 1 or 2 weeks after the original incident that she did actually pass away. And I've known this person since like 3rd or 4th grade, so it's still affecting me because, you know, we used to work together all the time, and she was one of the friends that we would all go out with, and she was just a big part of all of our lives. And so me, Stephanie, and Ellen all got tattoos for her in remembrance of her. Could always make me laugh no matter what, and she was one of those people that, like, she would always check up on you and ask you how you're doing, like with phone calls. She was just a caring person. She used to always call me before work, and we'd talk a little bit, and then we'd be like, we have to go to work now. I will definitely miss that. And that stupid Maroon 5 song, Memories, keeps playing. And that was playing on the radio as I was pulling into the parking lot at the church where her funeral was. So I hate that song. I have to turn it off every time or I'll start thinking about it too much and crying. Like, don't play that song. They need to stop playing that song on the radio, like, for sure. So we're also currently trying to potty train little Keely Lauren. She loves sitting on the potty, but she just doesn't understand that, like, we pee in there and not in our diaper. She loves going on the potty and wiping and then flushing and then washing her hands. Like, she's got that whole routine down. She just won't pee or poop in the potty. We're working on it. It's gonna be really nice to not buy diapers anymore. Diapers are expensive. A pack of her diapers is $40. I think we go through like one a month, sometimes two. And it takes up a lot of space in the garbage too. Like, we have so much more garbage because of diapers, because they, you know, obviously expand when there's pee in it. And I'm not trying to rush her because I know that they have to kind of do it on their own. But I think keeping her in that routine of going on the potty, wiping, flushing, washing hands is ultimately good for her to be doing. She loves to have her teeth brushed every night and every morning. She's a pretty good girl most of the time. It's just once in a while that she's a little turd. Lately she's been liking to tease the dog with her food, and then once he, you know, gets a hold of the food that she's teasing him with, she screams and gets mad. So we're trying to teach her not to tease the dog because that's mean. I want to see you guys commenting more because I love talking to you guys. Tomorrow night I'm going out with my dad to a movie and out to eat because we have not been able to do anything with just the two of us, like, in probably over a year, maybe even 2 years. So that'll be really nice. I haven't gone to a scary movie, let alone seen a scary movie in a long time. I used to watch them all the time. Like, that's the only movies I would watch, and now I don't even really watch movies. All about those Netflix documentaries. Yesterday was my first day of being gluten-free. I'm starting to be gluten-free to see if it'll help my digestive issues. Don't really want to go through the whole, you know, camera in the butt thing, like, to diagnose it right now. So I'm just gonna take matters into my own hands and see if it helps. So far today has helped. Like, no gurgling in the stomach, no super nasty gas and like loose stools, like no bloating. Like, it's awesome. And I'm also lactose intolerant, so I stay away from most dairy. I drink lactose-free milk with my cereal. And I also cut out almost all sugar. I'm really on a limited diet right now. And it's not that hard, actually. Like, sugar has been my coping skill, like I said in my last video. So it's actually a lot easier. It's hard to get started, but once you know, stay committed to your health and changing your body, it doesn't really stay hard. It's just hard in the beginning when you're first doing it. But yeah, I got a bunch of gluten-free stuff. Went grocery shopping 2 days ago. And I didn't think that the small towns around here would be all out of the, you know, toilet paper and all that crap. But they were completely out of toilet paper at Walmart. So yeah, just stupid people. So yeah, hopefully this helps because it's not fun having diarrhea every single day, and it's not fun constantly having gas and having people hear your stomach make all these disgusting noises. Like, it's embarrassing. I think the most part where I will struggle is going like out to eat can't really eat much fast food anymore, which I don't eat a ton of fast food, but like, I'm wondering if they have like a gluten-free bread here in the town that I'm at Subway. That would be awesome. So that is the finished look. That's all I have to talk about for today. Let me know if there's any topics that you guys want me to discuss in the comments. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!